Well, let's see here. Started up here with some raw umber yellow ochre, alizarin crimson, and actually even just a touch of ultramarine blue, just to keep this soft. I know it's very strong against that blue, because this blue sky is actually quite dark. I'm not going to paint everything adjacent to it as I work necessarily. I'm probably going to try to get some design going on down here to help me decide how to organize my colors as I organize my colors, or the colors. But I'd like to draw this bush. A little more clearly here. Or the outline of this tree, I should say. Let me just get that established. I'm just using yellow ochre now. I haven't even, well, as I say that, I'm going to use a little bit of cad orange medium and a bit of white because I do want strength in this area, especially as we get towards the bottom. Giving a very strong differentiation between this bush in the background catching sunlight and this in the foreground, which is not catching quite as much, and it's also a different kind of bush. I think we're probably going to end up going a little redder on that one. Let's see. I'll just go back to yellow ochre and a hint of the alizarin crimson here. There. Okay. That gets that pretty strongly defined. It's looking a little bit like a saw blade, so we'll have to change that a little bit. It won't take too much though. Actually, that's a little... Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me twice. Okay. Okay. Let's see. A possible trunk there. I like this sharp little bit coming off of that tree. Okay, I'm going to load my palette up with some paint. Okay, well, we've gotten into our cadmiums now, and I'm just using cad yellow pale, and a bit of burnt sienna. I'd like to bring this line. See, we're sort of with dappled color coming down in this direction, and then I'm going to keep this line reasonably established far to the left, but as I move to the left, I'm going to tone it down. I'm not going to stay too high in chroma or value. And then when we come into this will be sort of the doorway, you know, doorway from here to here, doorway from here to here, and then we shift to the left, doorway from here to here. So I kind of like it if the light came down in this direction and then started to move off to the right, again that Zorro pattern, that zigzag pattern, and this bush will remain somewhat muted, and this line will not be too intense, but this will become quite intense in color as well. Not probably in as high a chroma, but fairly high in value. So the sun will splash across here, and then be a little bit weaker here, and then we come down here with a whole different set of values and colors, obviously. But yeah, right now that's what we're doing. I'm just muddling along here. It's fun. Just like putting a puzzle together, really, isn't it? Okay, I think I better stop with being too light over here now. I'm just gonna... I'll put that stroke in. And I think after that we'll really knock it down a notch. as we go in this direction. Up into here, I'm going to have, it'll still be, it'll be a little lower chroma, but still fairly high value, you know, in between these trunks and what have you. But yeah, right now I'm just sort of piecemealing this together. And I haven't played all my cards in this intense area. This is my slice of intensity as far as high value, high chroma ratio goes. But I still haven't played all my cards, and I don't even have to, because I've kept the painted in area in most places flat enough, like non-textural enough, that I can take some of my final cards, my highest values, which will end up being actually cad yellow pale and white, and also cad yellow pale and a hint of cad orange medium and some white here and there, just to sparkle it up a little bit. That can be done even after this paint is dry in this particular case. Can't always do it, but looking forward to that with a bit of foresight, you can go, okay, I'm going to plan it this way so that later I can jump in there and get maybe a little more, throw a little more texture on there and get away with it. This needed to be fairly organized, these bushes, because of course this is focal area. So everything has to be readily identifiable in shape. As we move behind these trees, that distant bank of bush becomes backdrop. So I've allowed a few trunks to stay so far. We'll see how that goes. But really it's appearing a little bit more tapestry-like, because we want variety. We still want that to be acknowledged as bush, but it doesn't have to be too organized. We can just kind of muck around a little bit with our colors. And that's what I'm doing right now. Trying to give some variety. Some of these colors are, going in the direction of what I have over here. And others, well, as you can see, I've got more green in there. But mixing a little bit of green in with the yellows and reds, it's a very complementary color. So they work together to stand out and to pop a little bit. But the green is toned down because I want the attention, to be here. I don't want to get too strong over here. And I'm playing with yellow ochre, alizarin crimson, just a bit of ultramarine blue, and white. I guess that's really about it. But, this is kind of the fun part of the painting. It's the part where you see maximum change for not always as much effort. No, of course, it's because I put a lot of effort into the washing to start with, so kind of already got that ground covered. I don't need that there. And I don't think I need that. I was going to leave a trunk on the edge. I don't think I'm going to do that either. Throw a shot of yellow ochre in there. Keep that variety going. see here. Getting a little lighter as we get close to the underside of the tree. Might be getting too light, I'm not sure. I'm not gonna worry too much about it. Go back to a bit of that green. You know, making the green with the yellow ochre and ultramarine blue, and then adding alizarin crimson, and you'll still stay with the green, but or greenish maybe. But if you don't overmix it, you end up with little streaks of purple in there, and again, it's that little bit of variety, you know. Keeps the painting dancing a little bit when you have some variety in there. I think I'm using a pretty stiff knife right now. Excuse me, it's not that good. It's not that good at cutting in around detailed areas because of its lack of flexibility, and it's a little on the larger side too. So why don't we just use this little thing? Okay, I've got, this is bigger than it has to be, I think. I think we can cut it down to something like that. What am I doing here? Right. I think that's about right. That's a bit light for the very edge of the canvas. Yeah, that's a little too light. Let me just take that stroke down a little bit. Not much, just a bit. Okay, let me just step back a moment. That very valuable stepping back. Okay. Now I see something here that looks a little too... Just this one little spot that it's kind of bothering me, so what I'll do is steal from over here where my paint is a little bit darker. And why on earth I'm fixating on this spot, I don't know. But I better just stop. There are hundreds of spots like that all over the place, but it seems as though every now and then my mind gets stuck on one of them and goes into a loop. And then I have to consciously force myself to stop playing with it and just declare it okay. And if it becomes a big problem later in the painting, well, I can revisit it later in the painting. But I still see one thing here. That's right there.